It's Friday, January 9th, 2026. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, carefully watching that tornado threat. I want to cover that, the severe weather potential, plus a nor'easter is possible. I want to show you long-term a bigger system that is going to try to develop. We'll cover all of that in this video. Thank you for taking the time to subscribe. We'll put out additional updates. If you're subscribed, you'll get those notifications first. This here is with our tornado threat. The rainstorms are already bubbling up. We're going to see this into tonight. So this is the sector we're looking at, more of a spring-like setup. You get this sometimes in winter, no doubt. We've had some of the warm weather, near record warmth around in some spots, and that is really culminating into a lot of lift in the atmosphere. That could lead to that tornado risk. This is the area in particular we're going to be looking at for a spin up late today and even through tonight past sunset into early tomorrow morning. That tornado threat is a possibility, but especially over the next several hours, watching parts of Louisiana as we get back toward Mississippi and Alabama, and keeping an eye on the Texas area, really north of Beaumont, monitoring that. This sector here, a brief spin up at the least. We could see significant rain out of this. That is going to be a high possibility. We're going to look out for the potential of flooding, gusty winds, but that tornado threat is with us as we swing into tonight. In particular, here's that 5% region right in through here. So watching this sector, please be aware as we watch these storms, packing a punch nonetheless, but we could get some warnings out of this. Tornado warnings a possibility as we work into later today in through tonight. And then tomorrow, as this system progresses, a lot of the energy kind of splits. It lifts up to the north, but still watching out for some isolated storms a possibility, but drawing our attention over to that rain threat. That is going to be a huge threat moving forward. So we watch out for that severe weather threat initially, but look at this rain. Look at these colors. You see the blacks and the reds. We're talking about 6, 7, 8 inches of some rain right in this sector here. That could lead to substantial flooding, very quick runoff, especially across the higher terrain, watching parts of Tennessee over toward North Carolina, South Carolina, extreme western sections as we get into the mountains, northern sections of Georgia, swinging back toward Alabama and Mississippi, right in through here, monitoring this not only for the severe weather threat, but that high potential of flooding. Here's a zoomed in look, and look at this core, watching anywhere from Jasper back toward Lafayette, Blue Ridge over toward Andrews, Huntsville back toward Athens, right across 75. Very intense driving rain, rounds of it, that quick runoff. This is going to be a huge concern, the flooding. That's not always talked about. I'm letting you know that is going to be something we will be watching carefully. You see, as we get into tonight, the severe weather threat in this. So watching the tornado risk. This is what Matt Makins and I will be watching through the night. But with that said, also the really heavy rain, just really going over some of the same areas all the way into tomorrow morning. Then later tomorrow, this area kind of presses away, but still some isolated storms. Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, back toward Georgia, watching that, the top side of this. And then I want to show you the snow totals in that bigger system that is a possibility. Here's the top side of that, back side showing some of the snow mess working its way back through New England into the Atlantic region of Canada. But you see this surge of moisture. This is by tomorrow morning. And then we get another lift of moisture riding by tomorrow night. Northern New England, we're looking at some snow. Ontario, Quebec, some of that snow over toward New Brunswick. South of that, the rain. And then this will curl up into Sunday night back toward the Atlantic region of Canada. You take Newfoundland, looking at some rain on the south side, Avalon Peninsula. North, though, looking at some of that snow, trying to even wrap back around toward New Brunswick again. So we have one piece of it here. Here's the bigger picture. Here's that severe weather threat. Watching this as well, active in the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia. And then you see by tomorrow afternoon, there's the rain. New England, the mid-Atlantic around D.C., Baltimore, very heavy. Fairfax lifting up toward Philadelphia, up toward Scranton, some heavier rain. Then this will pivot its way Sunday night from the Maritimes north. We watch the Atlantic region of Canada as that moves across. Now, I promise what's going to happen next. Wanted to let you know that. I promised I would. And you can see here, this is what we will be watching developing as we go into the week. We were talking about this, how as we work our way into January, a better chance of nor'easters. That's the setup. Exactly what I've been talking about the last few videos, and we could see a nor'easter develop. Now, what happens to it, of course, this is by the time we get into Friday, so we are looking at here a week from now. There's going to be changes. Will this be closer to land? Will this stay offshore? That's a wait and see, but a significant system either way. That will be the next very big one to keep an eye on, and we'll be monitoring that track all week long. So as you stay subscribed subscribed, you'll get those updates. Now, looking at some of the rain, this takes us, some of the snow, this takes us all the way through Sunday. So to give you an idea of the snow totals over the next few days, taking us through the weekend, and you can see, as I mentioned, on the north side of this, on the back side of it, some additional snow. You see some of these blues that are popping up in here. That's where we could see a few spots pushing about 6 inches or about 15 centimeters of some of that snow. You can see the key, keeping everyone covered with inches and centimeters. You can see that on your screen. And then we, as I mentioned, northern New England, that's where you can see a little bit of that snow. See some of these blues in here, a couple inches, but you get to the north, Quebec, lifting up toward the north, some of these yellows again popping up. And then Newfoundland, Avalon Peninsula, better chance of some rain, but as it kind of swings around, we could see some snow in some spots, so watching that. But the yellows, where we have those brighter colors popping up, that's where you could see 5, 6, 7 inches of some snow. And speaking of that, we've had that shot, right? We've been seeing that over toward parts of the plains. Here's Denver, and you see this pocket right in through here coming out of New Mexico. Quick little shot of snow that we've been watching from overnight and this morning. So severe weather risk into tonight, including isolated tornadoes. That high threat of flooding is a potential. Active in the northeast, a couple of rounds of moisture and some snow, rain and snow moving in. New England back toward the Atlantic region of Canada, wrapping around toward the Great Lakes. And then next week, late next week, that is the next system we'll be watching. And as Matt and I have been mentioning, East Coast systems more likely, and that's exactly what we are about to see. So thank you for being part of this weather community. If you're dealing with any bad weather, let us know in the comments. So you can put your location, what you got going on, or even if it's the weather's not too bad. It's great to build this weather community. We'll be going through those comments throughout the weekend. Be safe if you're dealing with that severe weather. Have a good weekend ahead.